Ripple XRP holders, it is over. That's what a lot of people are going to tell you. That's what a lot of people think right now. With the recent crash in the market in this video, I'm going to be diving into the charts and I'm going to be showing you what I feel is going to happen next. Should you be buying this dip? Should you hold it out? Are the markets going to go lower? These are a lot of questions that people want to know that are either in crypto right now or considering entering the market. So we're going to talk about the facts on the charts, what's happening for XRP, what's happening for Bitcoin, and then I'm going to let you guys know exactly what I'm doing. And again, this is not financial advice. Consult your financial advisor. These videos are all education, informational purposes only. I give you examples, and then you need to do your own research. So you're going to love this video. Comment 777 if you're feeling blessed. Comment 777 if you're feeling bullish. And if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, confirm it by tapping the subscribe button. Let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So looking at the entire crypto market on the day, virtually everything is down 10, 20, upwards of 30% on a lot of these projects. So what we need to do is we need to dive into the charts. If we go back to the week, the week's not looking so hot. A few projects like Toncoin, Neo, CKB, ENA, over the past month, some of them are up. Over the past year though, when we zoom out, things are looking good. So when we bring up the chart, the first thing I want to bring up is Bitcoin. Then I want to talk about XRP. And I also want to bring up a post that I made in Telegram. So if you guys aren't plugged into our Telegram group, go to the link in the description below, plug in there, because I'm going to give you guys 7 reasons why I'm extremely bullish for what's about to come next, specifically for XRP, because we look at the facts on the charts. We want to leave opinions out of it. And so I'm going to discuss what's taking place on the charts and what we need to look for. So where we're at on Bitcoin's price chart right now is we're consolidating right at the all-time high from November of 2021. So we're up here. We're retesting the 50 moving average in blue. And if we look at the bottom of the screen right now, you can see there were several periods, during the bull run where Bitcoin retested the 50 moving average before passing the all-time high decisively by December of 2020. So right here, you can see after COVID, we broke above the 50 moving average. We broke above the 200 moving average. We also saw a golden cross. And all a golden cross is when a shorter time frame moving average crosses above a longer time frame. So in this case, the 50 SMA crossing above the 200 SMA was the golden cross that happened back here in May of 2020. Similarly enough, in October of 2023, we saw a golden cross take place. That's when Bitcoin broke out. And this was what a lot of people would consider the disbelief rally in the psychology of a market cycle. Similar to right here in July of 2020, this was the disbelief rally where Bitcoin rallied upwards of $12,300 to retest the high of June of 2019. And then we came back down to retest the 50 moving average and we broke below it. We almost came back down to retest the 200 moving average. However, the 50 SMA stayed above the 200 SMA and we broke on out of here to go to the high. So in my opinion, we are, more in line with November to December of 2020 than we are based on like looking at July to October of 2020. Now, because we see a macro economic climate being, on the cautious side due to wars and a potential World War III breaking out, what's happening overseas, what the Federal Reserve is doing, there could be a deeper sell-off that could take place. And, it could take a little bit longer to break out. And that's based on what I'm going to share with you guys on the stock to flow model. I have another video coming out that I actually recorded before the crash took place. And so, I talk about what happens every single bull run leading into Bitcoin's halving, because the key differentiator that we need to look at here is Bitcoin passed the all-time high before the halving, whereas we were all the way back here, way below the halving when Bitcoin was at like $9,500. So we're still early in this cycle right now. And that's why a lot of people believe, if you look on the bottom of the chart, that we're more in line with something about right here or even right here to consolidate sideways before we break to the upside. Whereas when you look at the chart at the top of the screen, it looks like we're more in line with right here. So it's very interesting to see because nobody knows exactly where Bitcoin's going to go next. But one thing we want to do is compare multiple charts together. And then that'll give you an understanding of, what's the most likely case scenario. So we look at the facts here because right now we're at the 50 moving average. If we break below the 50 moving average and trend below it, Bitcoin to the downside, in my opinion, could come back down to, you know, fifty to $53,000 right here. And even it could back test the previous, you know, resistance as support from January 8th of 2024 at about 50K. Because a lot of people that I know right now, they're not buying Bitcoin at $70,000. I mean, only idiots are buying, not idiots, right? Let me choose a different word there. Only laggards are buying Bitcoin at $70,000. Smart money was buying Bitcoin all the way down at, you know, $15,000, $16,000, $20,000, and even 25 before the first rally up. You know, BlackRock has been front running the market by buying Bitcoin from older holders behind the scenes. There's been purchases that they've been making, you know, whether you want to call it OTC or just swapping hands from the people that bought Bitcoin all the way back in the early days and running contracts with them and all sorts of different stuff. And so we'll get into that in future videos. But the main thing that we need to discuss is, what is it looking like for XRP to Bitcoin? What's going to happen next? Where are we on the XRP price chart? And when will XRP have its moment to shine? So the two charts that we need to look at side by side is XRP's market cap dominance, and then also XRP in comparison to Bitcoin. And so on the left-hand side of the screen, we see the XRP market cap dominance, and I circled 4 points. So the first point was all the way back in June of 2014. There's not much action on the MACD or the RSI back then. If we're on the monthly chart, we're looking on the monthly, on the macro, because when you're in doubt, we need to zoom out and see where the monthly chart looks like, because on the day-to-day or on the hour-to-hour, it's easy to get lost in the sauce, right? We're just in one day in the market on the macro scale of years and years and years. So if you see the market down like 10, 15% in a day, you think it's over, when in reality, this is completely normal. This has been happening for a decade, right? You're just new to the market. And so if you've been around for a while, give this video a like, because you obviously understand that this is part of the process. So XRP's market cap dominance means that when the chart is, you know, at a high period and the price is rallying up on this chart, XRP is absorbing more of the market cap of the whole industry. When it's in a downtrend, XRP has been losing value in comparison to the industry. In case in point, this is why, you know, gaming projects, this is why, you know, artificial intelligence, meme coin projects have been growing, is because they're absorbing liquidity in the market cap from a lot of the large cap projects. And that's why it's taking a little bit longer for the large caps to break out, because we see these mid caps, you know, going crazy. Now, I think that we're just at the tip of the iceberg there. And I think we still have a long way to go where these mid caps and these micro caps are going to melt faces and make a lot of millionaires this bull run. And I'll be sharing with you some top projects that I'm bullish on in future videos. But let's look at these points that were circled. So point number one, we're too early in the cycle to really see too much data there. But on the right-hand side of the screen, compared to XRP, the Bitcoin price chart, XRP was bottoming out in comparison to Bitcoin at the same time that XRP's market cap dominance was down below less than 1%. It was at 0.45%. And when XRP bottomed out in comparison to Bitcoin, it rocketed off of this. And we started to see XRP absorb a large chunk of the liquidity of the market. It went up to 20+%, topped out, then saw a massive sell-off down to point number two. Now, point number two, simultaneously enough, was the exact same time that XRP, the Bitcoin price chart, bottomed out back in 2017 before XRP went on that massive rally to over $3. You know, the XRP to Bitcoin price chart, XRP started outperforming Bitcoin. Same thing happened right here. XRP's market cap dominance absorbed 31% of the market. What happened after that? We went into a bear market, you know, leading into 2018, 2019. XRP's market cap dominance saw a sell-off to the downside. So we go to point number three. We're all the way down here at like 1%, almost below 1%. Simultaneously, XRP to Bitcoin was bottoming out. Now we start to see a trend line, right? So we see this ascending support line. So when we see, you know, price action on the chart meet a trend line multiple points, the more points of contact, the stronger the trend. If there's only like 2 or 3 points of contact, you know, once you see 4 points of contact, then if we even see 5 points of contact, then that's a very, very strong trend. Now we're either trending in an uptrend or we're trending in a downtrend. And as you can see on both charts, we see this slight ascending support line right here, ascending upwards. You know, it's almost horizontal, but it's ascending upwards. So if we hold this support for point number 4 right here, as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, we're virtually at it, almost at it, for point number 4 on the XRP, the Bitcoin price chart, where XRP has been underperforming in comparison to Bitcoin. Case in point, Bitcoin passed the all-time high. XRP is still at 50 cents, still at 60 cents, depending on when you're watching this video, whereas XRP's high is $3. And so at some point, this will reverse. Now, I could be wrong, but like I said, we take opinions out of the matter here, all right? We look at facts. Now let's look at the MACD. we saw a bullish cross all the way down here when the MACD line in blue crossed above the signal line in orange for point number 3. Simultaneously enough, for point number 3 on the XRP, the Bitcoin price chart on the monthly, we also saw a bullish cross well below the zero line. Now, the further below the zero line a bullish cross takes place, where the MACD line in blue crosses above the signal line in orange, the stronger the reversal signal. So that's when we saw XRP's price in 2020, shoot up over 10x while they were still going through the lawsuit. Now, in my opinion, the price would have been higher, but it's interesting how you guys can see this downtrend as well too on the XRP, the Bitcoin price chart, where it's been making lower highs, and simultaneously we've been making higher lows. So on the XRP, the Bitcoin price chart, we are in a multi-year symmetrical triangle. And so we're getting very, very close to see a flippening happening. Now, is it interesting? I find it very interesting looking at all the partnerships that Ripple's been making behind the scenes, everything that they're doing with CBDCs, the AMM, all of that stuff. So when we look at the post in the Telegram group, I'll just bring it up on the screen right now so you guys can read this. Number one, XRP to Bitcoin bottoming out right now at the same time that the Pi cycle bottom indicator is flashing. Now, this just came in at the end of March. Like, we're barely almost 2 weeks into April. And so the last 2 times that this happened, where the Pi cycle indicator came in, was point number 3, right when XRP to Bitcoin's price chart was bottoming out. And at the exact same time, the XRP's market cap dominance was bottoming out. I just find that interesting, right? So we look at the facts. That's fact number 1. Fact number 2 is when XRP to Bitcoin bottomed out in March of 2017, the Pi cycle bottom indicator flashed right here. And right after that, roughly, I think it was like 3 to 12 months, if we take point 2 and point 3, XRP rocketed to the upside on both charts right there. So point number 4 is in, the Pi cycle bottom indicator came in. The past 2 times that this happened, 3 to 12 months after, XRP did the unthinkable. Now, point number 1, there's a differentiator here. The Pi cycle bottom indicator came in the 1st of November of 2015, but yet point number 1 doesn't have the Pi cycle bottom indicator. Also, the Pi cycle bottom indicator came in again on July of 2019, while XRP was still in the downtrend. So this could be a false signal as well too. So we don't want to base everything just on one indicator alone. We want to look at multiple indicators. So on the MACD, this bullish cross has been building momentum. The cross happened on the market cap dominance chart at -1%, and we've been trending upwards closer to the zero line right here. And as we trend closer and closer and closer to the zero line, while the price chart trends downwards, meaning that we're making lower highs, making higher lows, eventually the pressure is building. So this is a divergence, right? So we can see bearish divergences and bullish divergence. And when we see lower highs on the price chart and higher highs on the indicator, that would be a bearish divergence. And as the bears lose steam and we see higher highs on the indicator, eventually something has to give, and then the bulls step in. Now, we've been in a downtrend since 2017. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, like 7 to 8 years for XRP. Now, when I bring up the psychology of a market cycle and you look at the left-hand side of the screen here, where does it look like we're at on the psychology of a market cycle? Well, 2017 was euphoria because XRP was upwards of $3, printed the biggest green candle out of anything in the space, outperformed everything. And since then, XRP has, had lackluster performance. 2021, sure, it did a 10x, but it didn't do what happened in 2017. Anger down here, in my opinion, this is the depression stage. So if history repeats itself in point number 4 right here on the XRP, the Bitcoin price chart, and simultaneously XRP's market cap dominance bottoms out, and we see a reversal from here, then what that would look like on the MACD is very similar to what happened for point number 2, when the MACD line crossed above the signal line in orange, and we saw it trend well above the zero line. So we're right at the zero line right now on both of these charts, on XRP's market cap dominance, on XRP to Bitcoin. Also on the RSI, we're all the way down at 39. The last time we were down below 40, we were at point number 3. At point number 2, we were at like 44. So we are oversold territory on the relative strength index on both charts as well. Now, this is also an interesting comparison. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see XRP to Bitcoin, which we were just looking at. And on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see XRP to the US dollar. So whereas XRP has been underperforming in comparison to Bitcoin over the past few years, since 2014, over the past decade, XRP has been overperforming the US dollar. And that's easy because everything in the crypto space has been outperforming the US dollar, real estate, precious metals, everything has, because the US dollar is a dying currency, an experimental money program that can only last, like 100, 120 years maybe. But looking at this chart from point number 1 to point number 2, we see this ascending support right here. Point number 2 was a final shakeout event for XRP to go down to like 0.003, and then we shot on out of here. If we look at point number 3 to point number 4, we see this ascending support going all the way back to March of 2020. So we're in a 4-year uptrend, all right? And looking at the post that I made in Telegram, XRP, the US dollar price chart, shows XRP in this uptrend holding one of the strongest supports right here. And so this support has been holding up very well while we're trending upwards. So XRP is not doing bad by any means. I mean, it's not losing people money that bought all the way back here at 30 cents. Yeah, if you bought at the high back in 2021 or in the high in 2018, you're still sitting at a loss holding on to your bags. But now you know what to be looking for this time on the charts when we're overbought or when we're oversold. So that's where we look at these key indicators. And so XRP has stayed in the top 10 by market cap all bear market in this entire bull run while still going through the lawsuit. So the whales know what's coming here. Now, looking at the MACD, we can see this bearish cross that took place during the bear market in January of 2022. I'll circle it on the chart so you guys can see what I'm looking at right here. On the right-hand side of the screen on the bottom, we can see it happen 2 times when we were well above the 0 line, the MACD line in blue, crossing below the signal line in orange all the way back here in June of 2018. That's when right after the top was in, we were in a bear market. We see a downtrend taking place. Now, when do we see the same thing happen? Right here, back in like September to January of 2022, we saw this cross, the MACD line flip around, crossing the signal line. We were also in a downtrend as well too during that bear market. Now, interestingly enough, because nobody knows exactly what's going to happen next, we just need to go and look back to the past. So on the right-hand side of the screen, we see this bullish cross back in September of 2020 when the MACD line in blue crossed above the signal line in orange. Where were we on the price chart? We were down here at like 20 cents. XRP went upwards of $1.90 plus cents. And so that's when we saw an uptrend take place after point number 3. Simultaneously enough, the Pi cycle bottom indicator came in on the XRP to the Bitcoin price chart, and we reversed from all the way down here, and we saw a rally up. And we are also in this macro downtrend as well too on the symmetrical triangle on the XRP the Bitcoin price chart. Interestingly enough, we're also in a macro symmetrical triangle too on the XRP the US dollar price chart. So this is a very pivotal moment as well too. So for people to believe that XRP is just going to sell off and go to 0 and do absolutely nothing with all the partnerships that Ripple's been making, you know, all the news that I'm going to be bringing you guys for the rest of this video, the SEC, the reason why people are saying this, it's almost like they're taking the SEC's side here, because look at this post that I made, guys. The SEC is seeking $2 billion in fines. Ripple already won the lawsuit. They're not going to get that much. The lawsuit will end. When that happens, in my opinion, the green light is going to flash for the banks, the institutions, massive whales, and then retail is going to be piling in later at the top when XRP is rallying up, creating massive FOMO and greed in the markets because we're in the depression stage right now. After depression, on the psychology of market cycle, what happens? We go into disbelief. People are like, there's no way XRP is rallying right now. And watch, if this happens, we'll go back to this video and we'll see if this ages well, you know, because this is a good timestamp to see if this is gonna happen. Because looking at the MACD now, what happened? Well, back in June of 2023, we saw a bullish cross. The MACD line in blue crossed above the signal line in orange right here. Very similar to what happened back here for point number 3 when we were bottoming out on the XRP, the Bitcoin price chart. Interesting enough how we bottomed out for point number 4. We also see a bullish cross as well too. And we're at this very pivotal crossroads back here on the XRP to the Bitcoin price chart on the left-hand side of the screen. We're also at a pivotal crossroad right here for point number 4 on the XRP to the US dollar price chart where something's going to give. Now, whether that happens in a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, it's anyone's guess because it really depends on what happens next for Bitcoin, right? If we see a deeper correction for Bitcoin below the 50 moving average, the SMA in blue, similar to what happened back here in September of 2020, or even back here in June of 2020 post-COVID, where it just took several months to do anything impactful. If we see something like this play out, it actually could be healthier for Bitcoin because we would expect, based on the 4-year market cycle theory, for the top of Bitcoin to be in by September to December of 2025. So if we just start breaking out right now around the halving and start shooting upwards of 70, 80, 90, 100, $120,000, you know, right around the halving, then that would lead me to believe that we would have a much earlier market cycle, or we would have a much more parabolic market cycle, but we would need to see a deeper correction nonetheless if we start shooting up now. So it's better that we get the corrections out of the way early in the market to backtest the 50 moving average before we trend higher, because if we if we see them later in the market, it's going to get people a lot, frustrated. So 2020 was the cycle comparison that people are making right now, but we need to make other comparisons as well too to see what's going to happen next. Because if we look at the RSI and we see it bottoming out on the XRP, the Bitcoin price chart, well, what's happening on the XRP, the US dollar price chart? We've been making this uptrend. We're sitting right here on the bottom right-hand side of the screen at 49, almost at 50. So neither overbought nor oversold, but we've been making a healthy uptrend, similar to what we were doing from March all the way to December of 2020 for point number 3. So very, very similar, where we can see the RSI, bottoming out. We can see the MACD bottoming out for the bear market bottom. And then we start trending upwards, reversing momentum. We see the bullish cross well below the zero line. We're right at the zero line right now on both indicators on the MACD. And we're in this uptrend for the RSI. Whereas on the XRP, the Bitcoin price chart, we're in oversold territory. So this is looking primed for a massive breakout for XRP over the next 3 to 12 months. Now, in regards to what would cause that, other than Bitcoin's having historically been bullish for the market a year later, well, it would be what's going to take place in this lawsuit, because there were no SEC versus Ripple case related updates to consider yesterday. However, an unrelated court ruling could strengthen Ripple's arguments against a punitive penalty for breaching U.S. securities law. So Ripple's chief legal officer shared the news on the ruling, saying that the SEC continues to lose. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals refused to reconsider their decision in Govil, which held that if a buyer suffers no financial loss, the SEC is not entitled to disgorgement from the seller. The ruling could impact this lawsuit because they're seeking $2 billion in disgorgement in the Ripple case. So as background, the Second District Court, same as Ripple, ruled that the SEC may not ask for a crippling disgorgement award without proving that investors suffered actual financial harm. So the SEC, and what's interesting is the financial harm that would have been taking place here is because of the SEC suing Ripple that caused, the price crash that took place all the way back here, when we saw the price rally up before point number 3 to like 90 something cents, crash all the way back down to 17 cents. And then XRP still did well during the bull run, performing a 10x from there. So anyone that sold that dip is because of that news. And so the SEC is causing everyone financial harm. Ripple must file its remedy-related opposition to the SEC opening brief by April 22nd. So in 10 days, the SEC versus Govil case will likely be one of the several cases that Ripple will cite. And then Ripple will also need to detail the amount of XRP sales that were done to United States and non-United States institutional investors. And additionally, if most pre-complaint XRP sales were to non-US institutional investors, then US sale proceeds would be significantly less than $770 million from total XRP sales. So we're going to update you on this towards the end of this month, but we still have 3 to 12 months based on what's happened historically in Bitcoin's halving before anything major takes place. Now, here's one thing that's interesting to note as well. Point number 6 in the post and Telegram is Ripple's AMM is back in action on the XRP Ledger mainnet with all the partnerships Ripple has made over the years to help the central banks roll out their CBDCs. I personally wouldn't be surprised to see CBDCs on the XRP Ledger. They're making massive partnerships, particularly paired, with XRP to streamline cross-border payments, because XRP has always had fast transaction speed, low fees, making it the ideal bridge currency. For instance, the digital euro could be exchanged for XRP on the XRP ledger, then converted into another currency or CBDC seamlessly. Now, here's one interesting point. The reason why I put that up there is because Ripple Labs has announced its gold sponsorship for the upcoming Digital Euro conference. And if you guys have been following the channel and watching those previous videos, Ripple has been working on the Digital Euro, the Digital Pound Foundation, like working with all the massive institutions and all the massive central banks to be able to usher in wholesale and retail CBDCs. Now, this is an old article, and this already happened February 29th of this year. So the amount of central banks that are shifting to CBDCs, Ripple has positioned themselves to be able to capitalize on that, because point number 7 is clear regulatory guidelines from major jurisdictions regarding the classification and treatment of XRP is going to significantly influence investor sentiment and specifically institutional and central banking adoption, directly impacting XRP's price. So this is going to take time, but like we always say, the turtle wins the race. And so the turtle here is XRP in this case. The rabbit here is, it could be Bitcoin or it could be all these altcoins that are absorbing liquidity. That could be the major distraction. So when we look at Bitcoin's logarithmic growth chart and we also look at the stock to flow model and we compare it to the past, well, what happened during the last bull run before, this one in 2021, going back all the way to 2016, we saw a rally up before the halving. We saw a sell off going into the halving, consolidation, and then it took until December 20th of 2016 to break out, from June 2019 to December of 2020. So it took a long period of time for Bitcoin to finally break the all-time high from that bull run. Now, if we go back to the bull run before then and we look at what happened, we saw this rally before the halving, a sell-off going into the halving, consolidation, and then breaking out like about 3 months after the halving when we go from red to orange on the stock to flow model. And so when Bitcoin halves, nothing much happens. In fact, we've seen a sell-off, multiple bull runs going into the halving, then a consolidation takes place, and then it takes several months for Bitcoin to break out. So looking at where we're at right now, I talked about this several months ago, where it's possible for Bitcoin to break above the stock to flow line, go upwards of $70,000 to $75,000. It's very possible. And then what I would expect is a sell-off going into the halving, consolidation, and then price continuation after. So in the short term, leading into the halving over the next week, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I don't know if Bitcoin's going to shoot up to 75, 80K and then sell off, or see a sell off right now, or just trade sideways, right? I'm not going to tell you exactly what's going to take place. And also, I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not Nostradamus here on what's going to happen in the markets. I just look at the past, I look at history, and then I weigh probabilities to adjust my portfolio accordingly. And so if you want to hold back and wait on the market, that's on you, because, if we shoot up to like 80, 90K and then we see a sell-off down to like 75 and consolidate sideways, and we just don't see Bitcoin go down to like 50 or 60K down here, post-halving, then this could quite possibly be the last chance that you're able to accumulate at this dip right now in the markets over the past day. Because if we're down 14%, yes, we could go lower, and that's definitely a possibility. It's actually more likely, guys, that we go lower on the halving and even after the halving, but then we consolidate leading into June, July, August, then September of 2024. I would expect the markets to be breaking upwards of 85, 90K towards Q4 of 2024. Simultaneously, I would expect XRP to Bitcoin to be reversing and XRP to start outperforming Bitcoin after Bitcoin has decisively broken the all-time high and is rallying upwards of 80, 90, and 100K. Because if we look at XRP compared to Bitcoin last bull run, when Bitcoin started breaking out in December of 2020 and went upwards of $40,000, XRP saw a sell-off from 49 cents all the way down to 20-something cents. And then when Bitcoin started to cool off from about $40,000 down to $29,000 to back test the 50 moving average, XRP was still at 24 cents. It wasn't until April of 2021 until Bitcoin was all the way up at $59,000 then XRP finally broke out in a matter of, what was it, like a week, from the 5th of April to the 16th of April. So like 10 days, XRP went from 58 cents to $1.90 when Bitcoin was all the way, guys, all the way up here at the technical all-time high for Bitcoin. XRP performed another 200+% in less than 10 days towards the tail end of the bull run. So we could see the same thing happen where XRP just doesn't do much while Bitcoin starts breaking out post-halving 3 to 12 months after Bitcoin's halving. And then when Bitcoin finally starts topping out by like August, September, October, maybe December of 2025, upwards of like maybe $150,000 to $190,000, then we could see XRP having its final breakout in like the last month of the bull run. So in the meantime, what we're doing is looking for the right opportunities to be able to scale your wealth that you can rotate back into large caps like Bitcoin, XRP, maybe Ethereum, Solana, Chainlink, other large cap projects that you guys believe are going to do well. So if you want to see what projects we believe are going to outperform XRP in the short term that will allow you to accumulate more XRP in the long term, then you want to get exclusive early access to the Underground Guidebook for discovering 100x altcoins by going to bullrunners.com. You don't need any previous crypto trading experience. All you need to do is go to the link in the description below, click the button on the page, put in your best email address. You'll be instantly subscribed to our daily video newsletter where we give you the best information to help you prepare for the worst that's yet to come in this economy. Because together, you know what we're doing. We're backing up our trucks all the way to the bank. Beep, 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 boom, grabbing the bags, backing it into the bank. When we get the bags, what do? We pack them and stack them. We leave no bags left behind because the spending power of the dollar is going down in value. That's a fact. Blockchain tech, distributed ledger technology, and cryptocurrencies have been going up in value. That's the truth. Even with this short-term correction, we're still up over the year. And together, we're going camping on the beaches of the moon. So I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll see you on bullrunners.com. As always, God bless. Stay bullish.